Top 10 Most Secret Spy Planes in Military History. What's it like to fly on the edge of space, so high you can see the Earth's curve? Your mission: photograph a nation's most guarded military sites, knowing one wrong move could spark a global war. This isn't a movie. This is the world of the spy plane, where pilots and their incredible machines operate in the deepest shadows of global espionage. For almost a century, a secret war has been fought in our skies. It's not a war of dogfights, but one of stealth, speed, and surveillance. It's a constant battle between engineers building aircraft that see everything, and their rivals building weapons to shoot them down. Sure, satellites are watching from orbit, but their paths are predictable, and their eyes can be blinded. The spy plane, though? It goes where it's needed, when it's needed, hanging around for hours and reacting to threats in real time. From the Cold War legends that flew faster than missiles to the hypersonic drones that will shape the future, we're counting down the 10 most legendary spy planes ever built. These are the machines that saw what no one else could, proving why, even in an age of satellites, some secrets can only be found by a pilot in the sky. Number 10, Northrop F-15 Reporter. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a ghost from the dawn of the Cold War, a plane born from the deadliest night fighter of World War II. This is the Northrop F-15 Reporter. The challenge was the vast, unmapped territory of the Pacific and Asia. As World War II ended, the United States needed an eye in the sky with serious endurance. The solution? Take the battle-tested P-61 Black Widow night fighter, strip out its guns, and turn it into a pure reconnaissance machine. The result was the F-15 Reporter, the last piston-powered photo-reconnaissance aircraft designed for the U.S. Air Force. Its stroke of genius was the redesigned fuselage. A single bubble canopy housed the pilot and camera operator, giving them incredible visibility. But the real magic was in the nose. Where radar and machine guns once sat, a suite of aerial cameras was installed, turning the fearsome Black Widow into a master of espionage. With a top speed of 440 miles per hour and amazing range for its day, it could fly deep into hostile territory. Its most crucial mission came just before the Korean War. Flying from bases in Japan, F-15 reporters conducted exhaustive flights to create detailed aerial maps of the Korean peninsula. When North Korea invaded the South in 1950, those photos proved absolutely vital, providing the first intelligence that guided the United Nations response. Only 36 were ever built, but the reporter's contribution was huge, charting the battlefield of a war that was just about to begin. Number 9, Lockheed F-5 Lightning. At number 9 is a plane that proves speed can be the best kind of stealth. Before the jet age, one of the most effective spy planes was actually a fighter, the Lockheed F-5 Lightning, the recon version of the legendary P-38. The threat was Fortress Europe. During World War II, Allied commanders were desperate for intel on German troop movements, factories, and coastal defenses for the D-Day invasion. Sending slow bombers on photo runs was a suicide mission. They needed a plane that could get in, snap the pictures, and get out before the Luftwaffe even knew it was there. The F-5's brilliance was its raw performance. Lockheed stripped the P-38 of its weapons and packed it with up to 5 cameras for comprehensive coverage. Painted in a unique photo recon blue to blend with the high-altitude sky, the F-5 kept the P-38's blistering 400+ mile-per-hour speed and its incredible 44,000-foot service ceiling. It was a spy that could outrun almost any fighter sent after it. The F-5's secret mission was really a massive, sustained campaign that helped turn the tide of the war. Flying alone and deep into enemy territory, F-5 pilots captured the vast majority of aerial photos used by the Allies in Europe. They photographed the beaches of Normandy, mapped V-1 rocket sites, and tracked German tanks. One of its most famous pilots was Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, the author of The Little Prince, who tragically vanished while flying an F-5 over the Mediterranean in 1944. These pilots flew into the heart of the Third Reich armed only with cameras, and the intelligence they brought back made victory in Europe possible. Number 8, Boeing RB-47 Stratojet. Number 8 is a plane that pushed the Cold War to its limits, a sleek, swept-wing jet that played a dangerous game of cat and mouse along the Soviet border. This is the Boeing RB-47 Stratojet. The threat was the Iron Curtain, a closed-off empire protected by a new and formidable radar network. In the early 1950s, the West knew shockingly little about the Soviet Union's military power. To plan any potential strike and understand the nuclear threat, the U.S. Air Force had to map this electronic fortress. The RB-47 was a technical marvel based on the B-47 Stratojet bomber. While some models carried cameras, the specialized H models were electronic warfare beasts. These jets were packed with receivers and analysis gear, and their crews included 3 Ravens electronic warfare officers tucked away in a pressurized compartment, listening for and recording Soviet radar signals. Cruising at over 600 miles per hour with a ferry range of nearly 4,000 miles, the RB-47 could patrol the long Soviet border for hours. These ferret flights were incredibly dangerous. RB-47 crews flew at night, in total radio silence, deliberately tickling Soviet radar sites to make them turn on, revealing their location and capabilities. These missions often meant crossing the border to provoke a response. As a result, Soviet MiG fighters were constantly sent to intercept them. At least 2 RB-47s were shot down, killing 7 crew members and leading to the imprisonment of others. The intelligence gathered by the brave crews of the RB-47 was paid for in blood, but it gave the West its first real map of the Soviet Union's air defenses. Number 7, Lockheed U-2 Dragon Lady. Our number 7 is maybe the most iconic spy plane of all time, a plane with such a wild design it looks more like a glider than a jet. It flies at the very edge of space and has been a vital intelligence tool for over 70 years. This is the legendary Lockheed U-2, the Dragon Lady. The threat that created the U-2 was the terrifying reality of the nuclear age. In the mid-1950s, President Eisenhower needed to know the true size of the Soviet bomber and missile fleets. He needed a plane that could fly straight over the USSR, higher than any fighter or missile could reach. The answer had to be an airplane. The U-2 is an engineering marvel, basically a jet engine strapped to a massive glider wing. This design lets it soar at altitudes above 70,000 feet for more than 12 hours. Flying it is famously tough. At altitude, the line between going too fast and stalling can be just 10 knots. A tiny window pilots call it coffin corner. The pilot has to wear a full pressure suit, just like an astronaut. The U-2's secret missions defined the Cold War. For years, CIA pilots flew deep into Soviet airspace, photographing nuclear sites with total freedom until May 1, 1960, when Francis Gary Powers was shot down by a wave of Soviet missiles. That shattered the myth of the U-2's invincibility. But the plane's biggest moment was yet to come. In October 1962, a U-2 flying over Cuba captured photos of Soviet nuclear missile sites being built, triggering the Cuban Missile Crisis and pushing the world to the brink of nuclear war. The Air Force plans to begin retiring the U-2 in fiscal year 2026, but after so many delays, the Dragon Lady's legacy as a crucial pillar of national security is already set in stone. These aircraft are some of the most incredible machines in aviation history, each one a bold answer to a life-or-death question. If you're digging this peek into the world of aerial spying, do us a favor and hit that like button and subscribe. We've got plenty more stories of amazing machines to share. Now, back to the countdown. Number 6, Lockheed A-12 Oxcart. At number 6 is the secret predecessor to a legend, a plane so advanced its existence was hidden for decades. You know the State Route 71? Well, this was its faster, more secretive older brother. This is the CIA's personal spy plane, the Lockheed A-12, codenamed Oxcart. The threat was the fallout from the U-2 shootdown. The CIA knew high altitude wasn't enough anymore. The next spy plane had to be untouchable, mixing extreme altitude with mind-blowing speed fast enough to outrun any missile. The A-12 was unlike anything ever seen. As the direct forerunner to the State Route 71, it was the first operational aircraft built mostly from titanium to survive the intense heat of Mach 3 flight. Flown by a single CIA pilot, the A-12 was lighter and sleeker than the later State Route 71, letting it fly slightly faster and higher, reportedly hitting Mach 3.29 at 90,000 feet. It even had early stealth features to shrink its radar signature. It carried a special high-resolution camera designed to capture stunning detail from 17 miles up. The A-12's secret missions were flown under Operation Black Shield, conducting recon over North Vietnam and North Korea. For the first time, the US had a platform that could photograph sensitive sites and get away clean. Its operational life was incredibly short, just from 1967 to 1968, but the A-12 proved the concept of high-speed, high-altitude spying. It was retired in favor of its two-seat Air Force sibling, the State Route 71, but for a brief, shining moment, the A-12 was the most advanced spy plane on Earth. Number 5. Northrop Grumman RQ-4 Global Hawk. At number 5, we jump to the modern era with an unmanned giant that can stare at a battlefield for over a day without blinking. This is the Northrop Grumman RQ-4 Global Hawk. The threat it counters is distance and human limits. Manned spy planes are limited by pilot fatigue. The military needed a persistent eye in the sky and unblinking sensor that could loiter over a target for extreme amounts of time, feeding real-time intel to commanders. This meant taking the pilot out of the plane. The RQ-4 Global Hawk is a marvel of autonomy and endurance. With a wingspan like a Boeing 737, this drone is a true giant. Its hyper-efficient engine lets it fly at 60,000 feet for over 34 hours at a time. It carries a suite of sensors, cameras, cloud-penetrating radar, and signal snooping gear to build a complete picture of the battle space, day or night. The Global Hawk's mission is persistent surveillance in conflicts like Afghanistan and Iraq. But its future is complicated. The drone is vulnerable in contested airspace, as Iran proved when it shot one down in 2019. The U.S. Air Force has been planning to retire its fleet around fiscal year 2027 to fund more survivable systems. But for now, the Global Hawk remains the king of high-altitude, long-endurance unmanned spying. Number 4. General Atomics MQ-9 Reaper. Number 4 is a machine that rewrote the rules of aerial warfare, blurring the line between watching and attacking. It's a persistent hunter, an over-the-horizon killer, and one of the most feared assets in the U.S. arsenal. This is the General Atomics MQ-9 Reaper. The threat was asymmetric warfare. After September 11th, the enemy wasn't an army, it was a network of insurgents who could vanish in a moment. To fight them, the military needed a platform that could not only watch a target for days but also eliminate it instantly. The delay between a spy plane spotting a target and a fighter jet showing up was too long. The MQ-9 Reaper was the lethal answer. A massive upgrade from its predecessor, the Predator, the Reaper is bigger, faster, and way more capable. Its turboprop engine gives it a 27-hour endurance. But its real genius is its hunter-killer role. While providing live video with its sensor ball, the Reaper can carry a heavy load of Hellfire missiles and laser-guided bombs. It combines a spy plane and a light attack aircraft into one remotely piloted machine. The Reaper's mission is to find, fix, and finish the enemy. Since 2007, it's been a central tool in counter-terrorism operations. A pilot and sensor operator fly it from a ground station thousands of miles away, providing armed overwatch for troops. The Reaper marks a huge shift in warfare, where the act of spying and the act of striking happen in the same second, carried out by a machine that never gets tired and whose crew is never in danger. Number 3. Northrop B-2 Spirit. Our number 3 aircraft is on this list for a sneaky reason. It's a machine that looks like it's from another planet, a flying wing that is the gold standard of stealth. While famous as a bomber, its secondary role as a deep penetration recon platform earns it a spot here. This is the Northrop B-2 Spirit. The threat was the most advanced air defense system ever imagined, the dense, layered Soviet network of the late Cold War. To get through that fortress, the US needed a plane that was basically invisible to radar. The B-2 is a masterpiece of stealth. Its iconic flying wing shape has no sharp edges or vertical tails to reflect radar waves. Every surface is curved to deflect energy, and the whole thing is coated in top-secret, radar-absorbent material. The result is a bomber the size of an airliner with the radar signature of a large bird. While its main job is dropping bombs, the B-2 is also a powerful recon tool. Its advanced IN/APQ-181 radar has a mode that lets it create detailed, high-resolution maps of the ground, even through clouds. This allows the B-2 to survey and identify targets deep inside enemy territory where no other non-stealthy plane could survive. In missions over Kosovo and after September 11, the B-2 delivered not just bombs, but priceless intel from the heart of the world's most dangerous airspaces, proving that sometimes the best spy is the one you never see coming. Number 2, Lockheed State Route 71 Blackbird. At number 2, we have the absolute, untouchable king of speed. For over 30 years, it was the fastest, highest-flying air-breathing aircraft in the world. It outran every missile fired at it and became a symbol of American tech dominance. This is the one and only Lockheed State Route 71 Blackbird. The threat was simple: survival. After the U-2 was shot down, the game changed. High altitude wasn't enough. The only way to guarantee a spy plane's survival was with pure, unadulterated speed. The State Route 71 was a technical marvel forged in fire. Over 90% of its airframe was titanium to handle skin temperatures that would melt a normal plane. Its two massive J-58 engines were a wild hybrid design, acting as turbojets at low speeds and morphing into high-efficiency ramjets at altitude. This let the Blackbird cruise at over Mach 3.2, more than 2,200 miles per hour, at 85,000 feet. The plane literally stretched in the air from the heat, meaning it leaked its special JP-7 fuel on the ground, only sealing itself shut once it got up to speed. Over its career, pilots reported that thousands of missiles were fired at the Blackbird. Not a single one ever hit. The standard evasive maneuver was simple: just push the throttles forward and accelerate. The Blackbird was more than a plane, it was a psychological weapon, a dark shape moving faster than a speeding bullet, a constant reminder that no secret was safe from its gaze. From piston engine pioneers to Cold War speed demons and the unmanned hunters of today, these incredible aircraft represent the cutting edge of aerial reconnaissance. Each was a bold answer to a deadly problem, pushing the limits of what was possible to get a critical edge in the shadows. But the secret war in the skies never ends. And that brings us to number 1. If you have a favorite spy plane you think we missed, let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more dives into the world's most incredible military tech. Number 1, Lockheed Martin State Route 72, son of Blackbird. And finally, at number 1 is the future of aerial spying, a machine designed to fly at speeds that, today, belong only to ballistic missiles and spacecraft. This is the projected successor to the Blackbird, the hypersonic State Route 72. The threat is the 21st century battlefield, where adversaries have advanced air defenses and counter-stealth tech that make it dangerous for even 5th-gen fighters to operate. The next leap in spying requires not just stealth, but hypersonic speed, the ability to get through any defense on Earth in minutes. The State Route 72, as imagined by Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, is on the edge of science fiction. As an unmanned drone, it's designed to hit speeds over Mach 6, or more than 4,000 miles per hour. The biggest challenge is its revolutionary engine, a combined cycle system that uses a traditional turbine to get to around Mach 3 before a scramjet takes over to push it to hypersonic speeds. Lockheed has also said the concept could have a strike role, able to launch a weapon before an enemy even knew what was happening. As of early 2026, the State Route 72 officially remains a developmental concept. There has been no confirmed flight of a full-scale prototype, and many believe it won't enter service until the 2030s. The program is shrouded in secrecy. But whether it's called the State Route 72 or something else, a hypersonic spy plane is the logical next step in the endless race between seeing and hiding. Please, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can see more videos.